Hello, I'm Nikki from Southern Fleet Bath, and I am going to show you how I make the bubble frosting for my pumpkin spice bath bombs. It is not my recipe. It is a lady who was kind enough to share her recipe with a group that I'm in, and it is Lucy McLean's bubble frosting. So I have already measured out all of the ingredients, and I'm going to give you the recipe as I go. So in here I have 405 grams of baking soda. I did sift this. I am going to add 66 grams of white kaolin clay. $180 grams of SLSA. Make sure you wear a mask when you're doing this, it'll puff up in the air. $54 grams of tapioca starch. And I did sanitize everything with rubbing alcohol. I always spritz all my utensils, everything down really good first. You don't want to start out with anything that could cause any kind of mold. It's very important, especially if you're selling anything. Let's see. We have 120 grams of cocoa betaine. Bubble up is the same thing, so I'll just go ahead and next we're going to add 24 grams of polysorbate 80. It will pretty much make the cocoa butter and everything we're going to put in here later mix into the water really good. This is the best bubble frosting that I have found, and I have tried a bunch. It dries hard, so you can package and ship. It makes great bubbles. And it doesn't have any sugar or eggs or any of that stuff we don't really want to put in our bath in the ingredients. And it has lots of cocoa butter, which makes it fabulous for your skin. We're going to put 18 grams of castor oil. Next, I have pre-mixed my fragrance oil with vanilla stabilizer. I actually make and sell vanilla stabilizer. If anybody's interested, you can check out my shop. We are using gingerbread fragrance. Oh, it's so good, from Candle Science. And I have 2 tablespoons mixed with 2 tablespoons of my vanilla stabilizer. I'm just going to pour that in. 48 grams of rubbing alcohol. And also later, if we need to change the consistency of our frosting and make it a little thinner, we'll put some more alcohol. Okay, and I'm going to start my microwave. And get my cocoa butter nice and warm before we stick it in here. It's been setting for a few minutes, but we have 84 grams of cocoa butter that we're melting right now and getting nice and warm. I'm just mixing it up some because we're going to use a hand mixer in a minute. Make sure you got your mask on. And we don't want too much of this to poof up in the air. Alright, and this is our 84 grams of cocoa butter. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and get my hand mixer and start mixing this. And this smells so good. And in a minute it will be the exact consistency of actual frosting. For those of you who bake too, like I do, make sure you remember you're not making frosting. Don't taste it. It's tempting. Okay. And I'm going to mix this a little bit with my spatula. It's pretty thick. I might put a little alcohol. Now this is not a bad piping consistency, but I want everything mixed together really good, and it will get thicker, and it gets thicker fast. So I'm just going to put a little alcohol, and so when I do this, I don't measure. And you might be able to tell that, well, maybe you can't tell. There is a tint, kind of an off-whitish color to this frosting, and that is from the kaolin clay. It is white kaolin clay, but it still changes the color. I have made this frosting and left it out before when I'm leaving my frosting and I want it to be really white. You can leave it out, but for this, the pumpkin spice, I really don't care if, you know, it's a little off-white. So I'm going to spritz the top of it with gold shimmer mica afterwards anyways, so it doesn't matter. It is a nice frosting consistency. It's holding its shape. Everything's pretty good mixed together. So I'm going to put it in my piping bag. And for this, I am using an Ateco 888. It is a very nice big open star-like tip with a little bit of a swirl. It pipes beautifully. I like it for this. I like it for my whip soaps. And I have a trick for you guys. So, lots of you may be familiar with these 3D printed bath bomb molds. If you just take one of the outside shells like this, and you're just going to stick your piping bag down in it, and it makes a nice little cup for you to hold while you fill your piping bag. So I'm just going to start shoving this stuff down in there, okay? And see, it's got a nice little lip on it for you to clean off your spatula. I'm just going to, my plan is to shove this all in here at one time so that I don't have to fill this bag up. I got the largest piping bags I could find on Amazon. Because I used to really despise filling up piping bags until I figured this cool little trick out. I had a problem, and I was like, how could I possibly fix this problem? And that's what I come up with. I'm actually going to get something to sit this down on so that I can get all of this out of here, because we don't want to waste anything. And if there's some left in here, might use it myself. So, alright. Okay, and this is like the coolest part about this little trick that I've got here is you just slide it off. And ta-da! It's great, no mess. I have zero frosting anywhere but in this bag. Alright. Here we go. And you gotta work kind of fast because this frosting does get hard fairly quickly, okay? I'm gonna try to pipe these for you to see. And just kind of pipe around because you want to fill up the outside and pull up. Okay. And I can already tell this frosting is a little thicker than I would like it to be, but it's still okay. But I'm going to work really fast. We still got to stick our cinnamon sticks down in here too. I remember, I feel like I've been making Bath and Body products forever now, but I remember when bubble frosting was, oh, it was my enemy. I had tried so many. I had tried so many that failed on me. And when Lucy had posted this bubble frosting on one of my sites, and oh man, it's been forever ago. I've used it ever since, but I tried it. Oh, and I was so happy because I have finally found a bubble frosting that dried beautiful, that was pipeable and held its pretty shape, and also you know, shipped really good, because that's important. That's really important. And it didn't have eggs and all this different stuff that the other ones had. So, okay, it's starting to be a little thick. You can tell when it starts getting thick because it starts wanting to be a little cracked around the edges of the, you know, where it's piping out. I honestly prefer to use it a little bit thinner than most people would think would be good. But this is good too. And I don't quite have enough in here to pipe another whole one, so I'm just going to pretty up maybe a couple of these. Well, they're actually looking pretty good, so I'm going to leave those alone. Now I'm going to put the cinnamon sticks. These are real cinnamon sticks that I ordered from Bulk Apothecary. They were already pre-cut to the 1-inch size that I needed, which was perfect for my packaging. I have done the longer cinnamon sticks in the past, and they didn't work out as good for shrink wrapping. I shrink wrap these with Biolefin, with my National Shrink Wrap system that I love. If you're thinking about getting one of those, I highly recommend it. I do have a demo video of my National Shrink Wrap that I did on my channel if you're interested in checking that out. It is, that shrink wrap system has saved me so much time. I love it so much. It makes my life a lot easier. And things being easier is important, especially when you get really busy. watching. Bye.